All right, everybody, welcome in Season 3, Episode 2 of the Swish List Podcast. And I'll tell you what, watching the NBA this last week left me like a kid in the candy shop. I got everything from a gambling scandal that we're going to talk about LeBron James being connected to potentially, to breakout performances from the San Antonio Spurs. These guys haven't won this many games in a row, starting a season 3-0 in 5+ years. We've got great players, great plays, a whole lot of stuff we want to talk about. Can any player break into the MVP conversation? What are we doing with Steph Curry right now? Who are the top teams? What is happening in Philadelphia? What fan bases are the happiest right now based on this first week versus who's the most upset? We've got a lot more to discuss, some fun topics around like, hey, would Magic or Larry Bird be better in today's NBA? We're going to talk a lot about it. And I'll tell you what, we do not agree on that one. So let's get right into it. First, we have to talk about the biggest story that happened in the NBA this week, and that was sports betting. By this point, if you are in the NBA space, I think a lot of people that don't love basketball even know about this. There was a major FBI crackdown indictment where they arrested, I want to say it was over 30 people. There's connections to the mob, like to the mafia. But what stands out in the NBA is Chauncey Billups was arrested. The accusations against him are that he was involved in some bad poker games, right? And we're talking like using special glasses to look at cards, and they're talking $7 million that these people lost. There's a potential connection to Kevin Garnett there. Now, Terry Rozier, slightly different, right? He was essentially point shaving in games that he was playing. They have a very specific game that stands out. You've probably seen the clip, but I noticed some very interesting connections to LeBron James in all of this. And I want to make it very clear. I am not saying that LeBron James is involved in this, that he is guilty, that he is liable. I am not saying that about my glorious king, LeBron James. What I am saying is there are a few dots that connect LeBron to quite a bit in this story, and I'm going to take you to him right now. I want to start by talking about LeBron's right-hand man, Maverick Carter, a name that's probably not being connected to any of these gambling conversations, but a guy who back in 2023 admitted to the FBI, admitted that he had illegally bet on NBA and NFL games. That is a fact. That absolutely did happen. Now, there was no connection to LeBron James in terms of what was happening. He said that was siloed. It was very much so all him, but kind of interesting, right? You get this Shohei with his interpreter kind of feel there a little bit. Well, now you start looking at this scandal very specifically, and we look at Damon Jones, who was a teammate of LeBron James, who was seen during the lockout season driving around Cleveland with LeBron James, someone that is connected to LeBron, would text LeBron regularly. And the prominent player that is being labeled in this case, a lot of people believe is LeBron James because Damon Jones is connected to a game that happened in 2023. The Lakers and the Bucks, they played. He got information LeBron wasn't going to play in that game. And what did he do? He let his guys know. He said, make sure that he's in on it. They literally have the text messages. LeBron doesn't play, the Bucks win, and everybody gets paid. Now, I would imagine there are plenty of people that could ask LeBron on any given Wednesday, hey, how are you feeling? And he is not giving people information to use in gambling. I'd feel very comfortable saying that. What's difficult is the number of connections that are tied to sports betting that are directly talking with LeBron James. And then you have stuff like Chauncey Billups when he walks out right post arrest and he's got the Clutch Sports hoodie on. That's a message. Right? He had a t-shirt on under that. He didn't have to wear the hoodie. That was absolutely a decision and a very interesting one, in my opinion. Now, I've been known to have an NBA conspiracy or three. Once again, there are a lot of very interesting points here that are connected to LeBron James in a roundabout way. What are we supposed to do with this sports gambling story?
It just makes me angry, man. The league that I love, man, it doesn't deserve this. It puts a bad name on the sport of basketball, but specifically this one, it being connected to the face of the league in LeBron, Chauncey coming out with the Clutch Sports stuff on, and the fact that there's multiple aspects of gambling to it. Like we have NBA betting but also bad poker games as well. And you have KG connected to it. And there's 30 plus allegations, 30 plus people getting arrested for this kind of stuff. It's put such a bad image on the sport itself, the people in the sport. It opens up for these type of conspiracies that you're talking about. And at this point, with all the allegations that are coming out, why wouldn't LeBron James be connected to it? And almost it throws that idea in your head that he's got to be connected to this type of thing. It's bad for the sport. You see this kind of stuff minimalized in other sports. I feel like it doesn't happen as much in the NFL. It doesn't happen as much in the MLB. Correct me if I'm wrong. You don't see it as much. It's an issue.
I mean, you've got the Shohei story, which was a major story just earlier this year. But you have had a couple of NFL players recently that have been caught gambling on the premises, which you can't do in the NFL. You've had some pretty major suspensions that have taken place. Calvin Ridley, a very prominent wide receiver who was suspended. So it does happen in other sports. But man, this is like connected to the mafia, which is like a whole nother level. In my opinion, if we're looking at a solution, right? And I don't believe that there's half the league is doing this kind of stuff. I don't believe that. What I do believe is the NBA really does need to move away, and these sports betting partners, they have to move away from the prop bets. The prop bets, the over-unders on some of these guys, especially these fringe bench guys, these non-major all-star guys, like giving them the ability to, hey, take the under on whether or not they score 6 points or 12 points or 15 points in a game. That's just dangerous. It's so dangerous when it comes to an individual guy. Now, there are stories about Michael Jordan when he was meeting with his people he was gambling with, that he would be on the course and he would tell some of these guys like, hey, I'm going to drop 50 tonight. And it wasn't necessarily him saying he was going to take the under. It was just this level of confidence in Michael Jordan that he was just going to dominate the league, which he did. But it's bad, man. It's bad. But let's not act like this is the first time this has happened. And I can tell you this, it's also not going to be the last time it happens. What's more frustrating to me is the point shaving and Rozier. Not to say that the gambling, like the poker stuff isn't bad. I mean, that is not good. But when I look at the point shaving, that stuff's impacting the everyday sports fan. It's no secret most of these people are gambling. That's impacting those people, and that's in mass, right? So like you're looking at like a class action type of lawsuit from those people saying like you took my money and this was fraudulent, versus when you're talking about these high level poker games with people with deep pockets, a little bit different, not okay, absolutely illegal. Nobody should do it, but very different. Very, very different.
I hadn't thought about that aspect of it, like a class action lawsuit. That's a really interesting point because people are probably pulling up their receipts like, I just bet 2 years ago and he was definitely on the under. So that's an aspect that I didn't even think about. It opens up, especially because you're betting on your own sport that you're playing. So it's bad for the sport. It's bad for the people. It's bad for everything, like you said.
Obviously, this is going to be an ongoing story. We're going to track this for a while. I thought it was kind of suspect the FBI went and did this on opening night for some of these teams. I really think that was planned. I think they wanted a headline. That's how the FBI aura farms. I think that's how the FBI aura farms right there. Really. Like they're like, oh, we're going to get these guys right after Portland plays a basketball game. Kind of interesting to me, but I'm trying to enjoy Wemby's 40-point game. And then I wake up and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like it's like the craziest thing I've ever seen. But I really want to talk basketball. That's what we do here, right? We talk a lot about basketball. If anybody wants to track sports betting, obviously we're going to keep an eye on it. But there's very reputable sources out there in the journalism space that I would highly recommend you go to for more real-time information. We'll touch on it, but listen, we're two brothers talking basketball. So we'll give you the highlights, but definitely like do your own research. We're going to get to the NBA and the games that have been played. Rhoman, every single night had multiple incredible performances, posterizing dunks, multiple blocks in games. It was an incredible week if you were a basketball fan. It was everything you could have hoped for in an opening week. And I noticed something, right? This theme kind of took place. I feel like there's 4 guys that own this league right now. There's 3 guys that are talked about in LeBron, KD, and Steph, but there's 4 guys that actually own the league. Luka, Giannis, Jokic, SGA. These guys, from a sheer output perspective, points, stocks, boards, assists, their percentages they're insane. Like you would look at these numbers and you would go, I wish I could do that in 2K. Like it is so grand. It's so big. I've never really seen anything like it. Is there a player in this league that is capable of getting into the MVP conversation, of clearing any one of these 4 guys? Because I don't know if I see it. These guys are dropping 45, 55, 50, 49, 40. He's averaging 40. Can anybody do it?
It's tough. You look at the next few down the line, you have to be a Wemby type of player to be able to do it. Because, like you said, the main statistics, points, rebounds, assists, your stocks, that's what matters in today's league. That's what gets you the views. That's what gets you in the MVP conversation. That's why it's Luka. That's why it's Jokic. SGA's having a 40-point game every other game. You know Giannis is going to get his stocks as well as his 40 and 15. It's the issue with an Anthony Edwards, a Jalen Brunson, these players who are there, but their teams are winning. They're right there in the conversation, but the statistics aren't there. And statistics are so big nowadays that if you want to break into that conversation, you have to be a Wemby type of player. You're going to need to be getting 7 blocks and 2 steals a night along with your random 40-point games. And a thing that would put somebody in this conversation is wins. Your team has to be winning. If your team is winning, people are going to watch. The more your team gets, those nationally televised games, which the players that you just named are the ones where half of their games are on national television. Whether they're a home or away game, whether their teammates are injured, those are the nationally televised games. So you got to have your team up there as one of the names.
So talk to me about a guy like Steph Curry, right? Because his numbers have been absolutely crazy. And you've been big on this guy. So what stands out to you with Steph? Like, why are you so high on Steph Curry first few games into the year?
The thing with Steph is we talk about how big shooting is in this league and how Steph Curry changed the game. But no matter how incredible players become at shooting, no matter who else is in the league, Steph Curry is always going to be Steph Curry. There's nobody that can compare to him. With the output of the amount that he shoots, with the efficiency attached to it, this guy is going into his 17th year, and I think he's averaging 33 points a game right now. We're only 3 games in. We're only 3 games in, but the Warriors are a major threat in the West right now. They are. You had Stephen A. Smith already saying that the Warriors are going to win the West. Like,
okay,
it's a conversation, and who's leading the charge? You could make the conversation for Jimmy maybe, but everybody knows who Steph Curry is. He's the one leading this team. It's always going to be Steph Curry, no matter what names you put into this league. I remember last year was the conversation with Anthony Edwards. He was on pace to beat Steph's record for 3-pointers in his incredible season where he broke 400 in a year. But it doesn't happen. And Steph Curry, year after year after year, there's no question that he is still the greatest shooter in this league. And he's still at year 17. We're 33 points per game. We're 5 assists. We're 5 rebounds a game. There is no decline for a Steph Curry. The only thing that puts him down is down years for his team, a year where they're the 7th seed. And it's hard to do because of the West. But the way they've started with this year, with this lineup, including Al Horford, Kuminga finally gets his contract extension that he's been wanting. There's high hopes for Steph, and don't be surprised if he ends up in that MVP conversation a few months from now.
What impresses me so much about Steph is it feels like no matter how good of a game you have, he can absolutely cancel you out. He can cancel you out. He can take the stadium to a level that nobody else can, especially when he's at home. I'm looking at Aaron Gordon dropping a 50-piece, shooting 10 of 11 from 3, the most ethical 50-point game we've ever seen. I think he went 17 for 21, only shot 6 free throws, dropped 50 points. And Steph Curry, who did not have 50, absolutely shut him up. Just decided that, you know what? I'm going to win the game today. I'm going to scream at the crowd. I'm going to scream and tell you guys to take a timeout. You cannot win here. Like, can we name the players that are capable of that? Because when I watch Giannis, and Giannis can put up stats like anybody. He's an all-time stat guy. But I never feel like Giannis is able to put a chokehold on a game like that the way that Steph can.
You're
He
not
just
giving him the
doesn't.
ball at the end of the
It's
game.
not even
No.
close. It's not even close. The guys that I think have that capability today that can do what Steph does, Jokic can do it. Absolutely. There's an inevitability to Jokic when he touches the basketball that you just feel like they're going to score points. Very similar. I look at Luka, who is just can score at a level where it doesn't matter who's around him. He can just decide that he is in a basketball game at any given time. But I don't even know if SGA is at this level of scoring. Now, there's an inevitability to his free throw shooting, but that's very different. And that ends up in his total output. But like to me, Jokic, Steph, Luka, there are the three guys in this league today that they can just decide what is happening in a game. And it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter how good of a game you have or how good of how great your team plays. Like if the Lakers are playing Denver, you know what's happening.
I couldn't agree with you more. That those three names are the guys where I'm a little iffy on Luka still, even last season, just watching Lakers games. It was just like when I was watching the Mavericks 2 years ago when they made it to the finals, I felt like that. Last
Sure.
year with the Lakers, is the
Injuries,
feel
he was,
out,
he
but
was
yeah, yes.
overweight.
But if there is two people that I am 100% worried about, if the game comes down to there's 2 minutes left in the game, who's going to win? It's don't let Steph Curry get the ball. Don't let him get any sort of opening. It doesn't matter what kind of shot it's going in. So you have the two different aspects of Steph is just going to get this unbelievable amount of confidence that it's going to happen. And then with Jokic, it's just, the right decision is going to be made every single time. It gets down to the end of the game and he will make the right decision because the right players are around him. That's why a player like Aaron Gordon is able to have a 50 ball. Like Jokic is having a down year in scoring, but he's also leading the NBA in assists per game. He's at 12 and a half right now. So they're just built different. Those two specifically, as of right now, they're just built different.
Okay, so a question comes to mind when it's Jokic, right?
Mhm.
Because LeBron had this same mentality. I'm going to make the right play. But
Mhm.
LeBron would constantly in his career be bashed for doing it, right? Why would you pass up the ball in this situation? It happened,
Mhm.
it felt like every week, especially in the postseason. Why does that not happen with Jokic? Is it because he's just not held to the same standard? Is it because the players he's playing around hit the shots more? I'm genuinely curious if you have an answer to that at all.
I would say it's definitely the standard thing with
Mm,
LeBron. It's LeBron is when he came into the league, it was this guy's going to be the greatest of all time. It's which when people think of that, you think of Michael Jordan, you think of your Kareem, you think of Kobe, you think of the guys who score the ball. That's
mhm.
the problem with the conversation. With LeBron, it was he's going to be the greatest player of all time from the jump. And people, of course, equester that to scoring. But LeBron, as we know, pass first type of guy. He really is. And when you pass up shots as the guy on your team and as a LeBron James type of player, the finger's always going to get pointed at you. You had
Mm.
35 points. Why didn't you take the last shot? It's 100% the type of player that he is. Jokic was being drafted during a Taco Bell commercial, as we know. So Isaiah Thomas said this amazingly when he talked about the GOAT debate. We've allowed Jokic to grow into his greatness. So any great performance that he puts on is, wow, this guy was an underdog when he came into the league. With LeBron, it's we expected this greatness. So with Jokic, we're gonna appreciate it, which I think is a good thing for this type of player. Like, why would we want the hate? I hate that LeBron gets so much hate, but for Jokic, it's just a beautiful thing because you're watching him, you're just like this is different. This guy is completely different. He plays the game differently. He doesn't move like your athletic bigs. He's just super smart and he plays the right way. And again, I just attribute it to this man is different.
I've heard that he has a water polo background. And if you know much about water polo, wild sport, by the way, absolutely wild sport. A good friend of mine was a water polo player in California, and it is a very physical sport. But most of it, you are holding the ball in one hand and you are like shielding yourself with the other. And when you think about the way that Jokic plays, he is masterful with that ball in the hand. I can throw it full court. I can pop it and almost make it off one hand. I can hit the three ball so high. Like, I almost look at the way that he can shoot contested shots differently now, understanding that he has that experience. And you almost wonder if he's even more comfortable because he's not in the water doing some of this stuff. Kind of fun when you look at a guy like Jokić. Transitioning from him and looking at some of these top guys, there have been incredible performances from players across the board. Cam Thomas, a 40-point game. You've got Austin Reeves hitting a career high, clearing 50 points with no LeBron, no Luka. Like, there have been some great performances individually. I'm curious. Give me your top 3 players. You're looking at who shook up the league the most this past week. Who stands out?
For starters, I got to give a shout out to Tyrese Maxey. With all the stuff that's going on in Philly, this man looks like a top point guard. That I'm going to say what the best. I can't say best scoring point guard in the NBA.
No, you can't.
I'm going to give him the top 3 conversation right now, though. 1 week in, he's scoring like a madman. Like, when this man brings up the ball up the court, it's a different type of speed from him. This backcourt of him and VJ is quite scary. And the 76ers have won both of their games that they played. And through all the Joel Embiid stuff that's going on in Philly and Paul George, they're missing Jared McCain too. Like, he's one of my standout players. I got to give it to Tyrese Maxey. He had an incredible first week. For 2, I mean, it's Wemby. It's Wemby. We had Spurs talk, but they just played. What did they play? They played the Nets, and I think 7 blocks, 3 steals, 30 points, double-digit rebounds. He's doing what a 7'4" player should do, and I don't think that's any knock that we shouldn't be talking about it. I saw some clip of some podcast, and some guy was talking about, I'm not surprised by anything this guy's doing on the court, but we've seen 7'2" players. We've seen 7'4" players. Kristaps Porzingis is still in the league. He's not doing what Wemby is doing right now. So I think it needs to be noted and appreciated that the Spurs are 3-0. The Spurs look scary for how young they are. It's something that needs to be appreciated. So shout out to him. And then 3rd player, he's kind of second dog to his team, but is, I think, the main reason that this team has won all 3 of their games as well. Chet Holmgren. Chet Holmgren was a very high pick in the draft. Number 2 pick, I believe, when he was drafted. This guy is going to be an all-star this year. Mark my words, if he's not hurt, he's going to be an all-star this year. And he is going to be one of the main reasons that OKC could repeat. I think they played the Bulls, and this man put up a 30-piece. And 7-footer, can shoot the ball, plays defense too. So shout out to Chet Holmgren for being kind of the background superstar for his team, especially while Jalen Williams is out too. Yeah, 3rd spot, I'm giving it to Chet for the week.
Chet was great. I mean, he had a 31-point game. He's been solid. I think for me, when I look at Wemby, right, and the Spurs, this is the first time they've been 3-0 since the 2019-2020 season, right? So it's been a long time. And it's not like they were okay. They were awful. Wemby, at 21 years old, his maturity, his poise, he feels like he's already been in this moment.
That boy confident. Sorry to interrupt, but he is confident.
But it feels like a humble confidence.
Yes.
Like, it doesn't feel like Anthony Edwards. That's a level of confidence that is cocky.
Sort of an ignorant confidence, if you will. Yeah.
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Wemby, there's a calmness to the way that he leads that franchise, and he's leading that franchise. It's just been so great to watch. And then what gets me even more excited about it is on the court, he is aggressive. He's a dog, man. He looks at Anthony Davis and he goes, I'm going to cook you over and over and over and over and over again. I'm going to dunk the ball on you. I do not care who you are. I do not care what your name is. I am better than you today, and I'm going to show it to you right now. And there's nothing you can do, and there's nothing you're ever going to do. Like, that's how Wemby plays. And then he sits at the podium and holds the mic like it looks like a pen in his hand. And he's just like, we want to win games. And you're like, yes, of course you do, Wemby. Like, it's just so easy to support this guy. You want him to be great. He has a likability there that's not polarizing at all. The only thing that's polarizing is he plays for the Spurs. And people got tired of seeing them just win and be so efficient and effective all the time. I look at Luka. I know I've talked about him a lot, but I don't know if there's a player with the scoring has a worse supporting cast, to be quite honest with you. And I look at the Lakers tonight and the fact that they needed Austin Reeves to do what he did. Like Luka's kind of like banged up already off of a couple games, which is scary if you're a Lakers fan. But I loved what he did in those first two. He looked healthy at the time. He was dog tired after scoring the 20 plus in that quarter, but I was really impressed by him. I loved the way that he played. I loved the Grizzlies rookie. I thought he was awesome. You're looking at Cedric Coward. He was great. He had like a 27-point game, like a sneaky, fun rookie to watch is always great in the league. And the Grizzlies needed somebody that gave them a scoring stimulus that wasn't just Ja Morant. So that was kind of fun. Now, I want to talk about your Philly comment. I agree with you. There's this duality happening with the Sixers where, like, if I scroll my timeline, I see VJ and Maxey, and they are dunking the ball and laying up the ball and fast breaks and alley-oops, and they're happy. And the post-game interviews, it seems like they are, like, good buddies already. Like, the vibes are high. And then 20 minutes later, I'm seeing Paul George not playing, podcast P jokes, Joel Embiid talking about how he'd rather stay home than be on a minutes restriction. And it's like, how can you operate as a Philadelphia fan? Because you are just riding a roller coaster, and Philly fans are a roller coaster of emotion anyways. So, like, what do we do with Philadelphia? Are they a top 3 team? Are they actually just not going to be good? Like, I don't know what to do with them.
You can't depend on Joel anymore. We have too many years of this where I think the franchise might even be doing it. Let's put this guy on a minute restriction and just see if he's going to play well, and then we'll increase it slowly. That's how I feel about it. And Tyrese is a franchise player. He is showing that. And like you're talking about, there is this duality because if it goes good with this backcourt that they have going, and they can just depend on that. They don't even.
Okay, but do you just trade these guys? Like, do you just try to facilitate a trade for Embiid? Can you even get
I would
anything for Embiid?
100% do that. Make your future now. Get rid of
You would,
Joel.
you would
have
make the
had
trade
Joel.
3 games in.
Yes. I
Wow.
don't need to see anything more. What rookie is dropping 34 in their debut? He took 26 shots in his debut game. I don't think they need Embiid. A backcourt like this, you make some trades, you get some good things for the future, you see what you can get out of it. But Tyrese has shown in the past couple years what his potential is. The man is a franchise player, and now he has a side man. You already have potential with Jared McCain. He was in the conversation for Rookie of the Year before his knee injury. He was.
Yep.
Paul George, you have him there. Who knows what the 76ers have a lot of options right now. And me, I would depend on your youth. There's no other direction for me. You've had your chance with Joel Embiid, and he has not done anything. He won MVP, hasn't made it past the second round ever. So I'd move on from Joel.
This is a guy who's absolutely media trained and still made a bad comment in a spot where there was no reason for him to be saying that kind of stuff. None. So I didn't love the look there, but man, you got to watch Philly. Okay, so it kind of brings me to this question, right? There's got to be this happiness index, and maybe we do this. We have our basketball happiness index where I want to figure out, okay, what fan base right now is the happiest, or give me a couple, and who's the most upset? Because just because your team's good and they're good again, like the increase in happiness is not very high, right? If you're OKC, you won a title, you've won a few games, the increase isn't significant. Give me who you think, give me a fan base that you think has had the highest increase in happiness based on the last week of basketball we've gotten to watch.
I hate that we're talking about him so much, but it's the Spurs. If you're a Spurs fan, you're the happiest person in the world. 3 games, the chemistry is off the charts with this team. Like last year, they didn't even make the play-in. They were nothing because Wemby was hurt. Wemby's back. He looks healthy. You just got the number 2 pick. You have the Rookie of the Year.
And and Harper looked good. He had 20.
He had 20. The boy had 20. He's figuring it out now. De'Aaron Fox isn't even playing. You're starting Champagne.
Carter Bryant's playing like 6 minutes a game. Like
Yes.
it's yeah.
If you're a Spurs fan, especially with the down years that they have had, I mean, you talked about they haven't had this start since 2019, 2020, and they haven't been good since probably 2018. I feel like that was the last time they were really good.
Yeah,
You
Kawhi.
have to be 100% happy if you're a Spurs fan. If there's a second team that I could say because they haven't lost yet, it's Chicago, because who thought Chicago would have started 2-0? Josh Giddey looks like the second coming of LeBron. Like, this man is doing everything on the court, and it's incredible to see. It's so weird that they're doing Vucevic randomly having 25 or something like that. Like, those are my top two teams where it's like you're just happy out of your mind because last year was a throwaway year, and now you're at the top of you're at the top of the standings right now from the beginning.
Hey, look, Vucevic is a legit scorer in this league. He's a legit scorer in this league. He's a 20-point bucket. He has been for years. Now, here's why it has to be the Spurs. Did you see the top 3 prospects in college? The 3 freshmen?
Mm-mm.
Bro, AJ DeMonster is a baller, dude. He's balling for BYU.
Oh,
He is going nuts. Boozer's son up in Duke, 33 points. He's balling out. And you got the guard down in Kansas. He looks great too. His 3-ball, I'll tell you what, the quickness of his shot, and it is pure. It is so pure. Guys, the Spurs, they're on pace to get the Atlanta Hawks pick. The Atlanta Hawks are projected to get a top 3 pick. So if you're a Spurs fan and you're watching this season and you're like, guys, are we good? You're about to be great. Because even if you don't get the number 1 pick, let's say you miss on AJ, if you get the Kansas guard, if you get Darren, you are so good. You are insane. You are absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. He's 6'6". Like, the vibes couldn't be higher for any franchise in any sport on planet Earth. Higher than the San Antonio Spurs today, October 27th, 2025.
They picked Wemby, and it just took off. I mean, this is what you were kind of talking about. I remember with the NBA's rigged with the whole draft. And hey, if the Spurs are winning in basketball, it looks good for the NBA. So I think we should all just be happy for where the Spurs are at right now.
Okay, so what fan base right now is the most upset? Came in high expectations and have fallen flat.
The Rockets, 100%. There is no other team. This team, I think, for most sports betting places, was predicted to be, they were the only team that had worse odds than the Oklahoma City Thunder to win a title. And yes, they had the thriller with OKC. I think you can just attest that to it being the first game. Everybody's got jitters. Everybody, you saw the turnovers day 1 and day 2. Everybody was just kind of all over the place. It's the Rockets. They don't know what's going on at the point guard position. I don't know what Ime is doing. I don't know what his plan is, but I see Reed Shepherd bringing the ball up and just not really looking to give the ball to Kevin Durant.
And can't do anything defensively.
I liked the idea of the 7-foot lineup, Amen at the 1 spot, but Amen brings the ball down the court. Tari Eason brings the ball down the court. Jabari bringing the ball down the court. These guys, you have to have a point guard. You have to have a point guard in the game. It was going to be really good to have Fred VanVleet to just have the ball for the first 12 seconds of the possession, the first 8 seconds. But them and the Mavericks are showing why you need a real point guard. That is my other team. That it's the 2 teams that don't know what the point guard position is right now. And it's kind of ironic that Jason Kidd doesn't know what the point guard position is. Again, it was an interesting thing to put your young, highest potential of anybody in the draft at the point guard position, running to the point, but we can see it. The confidence level just isn't there. Cooper Flagg is not a point guard. I'm going to flat out say it. He's not a point guard. You don't run him at the 1. I don't know why Jason Kidd is trying to do that. He's got to see something that we don't, but I will flat out say it. Don't run Cooper Flagg at the point guard. Move D'Lo into the starting lineup. Let that man work off ball. Let him find his shot. Let him do his thing. The potential is there, but running him at the 1 is putting him in a completely different situation than what he was just doing. He's coming off a plan in college where he has a point guard to let him, come off screens, get the ball, do his thing. You need a point guard. So the two teams that are stalking, Nico Mannion trying to say, we want to win now. And you have this start with all of your players there besides Kyrie Irving. But it's the Rockets and the Mavericks for me, 100%.
It's crazy that the common theme between the two teams is that their point guard that they have on the roster is just injured. Like,
injuries.
They have the player. It's not that they don't have the player. The player just can't play. So it's tough. When I look at some of these teams, I look at Indiana. They've a fall from grace. Not that they expected to really do anything, but an 0-3 start after being in the finals, that's painful, right? And then you look at Boston, same thing. That's painful. Orlando 1-2. That's
hurts
painful.
me.
Like that hurts.
That hurts me.
So like those are ones that really do stand out to me. I'll tell you a team that I think the vibes are increasing. The Utah Jazz.
They have to be.
Let me tell you something. The way they smoked the Clippers was awesome. It wasn't even a game. And I'll tell you what I love the most about this Ace Bailey kid, man. Nothing extra. All buckets. He does not take unnecessary dribbles or make unnecessary moves to get points. That's high skill. His skill level and the way that he attacks the offensive end the IQ is so high coming into the league. I've just been so impressed with just the way that he moves, the way that he plays, the lack of dribbles necessary for him to score. Man, if you're a Utah Jazz fan and you get the chance to see Ace Bailey, because the tickets are cheap, right? The Jazz are not good. Like, you want to go watch Ace Bailey this year so that when he does what Donovan Mitchell did years ago, like, you can say you saw this kid before it happened. Now, I'm not saying, hey, Jazz are going to be the number one team in the West in the future, but like the Jazz were pretty awful, especially like post Gordon Hayward, post Darren Williams into Gordon Hayward. Like, I think Ace is going to bring them back to NBA prominence. They'll be a relevant franchise again.
Too much young talent for it not to happen. We know what Danny Ainge does. He's going to do it again with them. But the Ace Bailey, 100% right. That's the main thing with young players in the league, young scorers in the league. They have to find their footing. No pun intended. But players like this, it usually takes them a few seasons to, okay, I'm going to catch the ball. I'm going to do my 1-2. Like, I practiced this yesterday. I'm going to get to my ISO ball. With him, it's no. I'm catching it on the move, rip through 2 steps. I'm already at the rim. Like, it's the flashes of like a young KD. I'm low key seeing it. I know it's really early to say, but the scoring ability, yes, he has some bad games. He's a rookie. It's going to happen. It's going to take some time, but the potential is 100% there. He's athletic. He can shoot the ball. He already has the footing. He's got the mentality. I mean, he came into the draft talking about telling teams, don't draft me already. We know the confidence is there. The confidence is there.
Very confident.
And the potential is there. So shout out to him. He's going to continue to be great.
Okay, so I've got kind of a fun question. Switching gears from the current NBA into some thoughts I had through the week, just as I was enjoying the league. I was thinking about just some of these players, right? You have these guys where they switch teams and they blow up, right? So Rhoman, this is what we're going to do. We're going to draft the top players who switched teams and totally took their game to the next level.
Okay.
We're going to do a snake draft. So you can either pick, you can have the first pick or you can pick second and third, and we'll be rotating back and forth. And we're going to be picking 3 players each.
I'll go first, I guess. I'll go first.
You're going to take first pick? Okay, who you got?
Yeah. I got to go James Harden, right? Yeah. I'm going James Harden.
James Harden? That's a great pick, dude. Yeah. That's a great pick. Okay, I'm going to give me Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Was a bench guy and then becomes MVP, NBA champion.
You already got me with championships.
Does it get any better than that? Like, you just gifted me SGA.
I love one of the greatest scorers of all time. I think we're pretty.
I personally, I love that for me. For me.
Okay, you got it, twin. You got it.
For my second pick, give me Tracy McGrady. Tracy McGrady was averaging like 15 points a game with Toronto, goes to Orlando and goes to scoring like 26.8 a game. The dude was almost averaging 30, like became a household name, absolutely dominant, great player, one of my all-time favorites. Give me Tracy McGrady as my second pick.
Okay, so for your second pick, you went elite scorer, no rings. So but this guy don't got rings either. This is tough. I gotta go with my guy Tyrese, though. We're going Tyrese. Tyrese got moved. The potential was there. He put up great numbers for the Kings in the year before he got traded, but the takeoff from moving to the Pacers, it's notable. So I'm definitely going to go Tyrese.
And for your last pick?
For my final pick, I think we're staying guard heavy, but I'm going to go Steve Nash. We know he was good with the Mavericks, but when he got moved to Phoenix, it was immediately 2 MVPs. He may not have the winner's aspect, but I'm going to go Steve Nash. 2 MVPs, locking in Steve Nash for my third pick.
I'm not going to lie, that's a great pick. I've got a lot of names on my list that I could choose from. I've got Jalen Brunson, Jermaine O'Neal, Larry Markkinen for the Jazz. He became a great scorer. Jason Kidd, another Dallas move. And then I've got Shaquille O'Neal as well. I mean, obviously he was great in Orlando, but goes to the Lakers and just becomes like the most dominant force ever. I think it's not fair to pick Shaq, but he's like the greatest honorable mention of all time. But you know what? I think I'm going to take Jalen Brunson. I really do. Like nobody expected this from Jalen Brunson. Nobody. And he has been awesome. He's been absolutely awesome. So let me round out my list with Jalen Brunson. I like that.
I think we made great picks. There's not a lot of rings here, but there's a lot of potential here.
If you're listening to this segment right now, comment who you believe are your top 3 players that after being traded took their game to the next level. We want to know. We want to know.
So we just talked about a little bit about James Harden. He was my pick. I actually have another thing for you, Mo. I made this little list. We've got a Stop Me When You Hear a Better Player, James Harden edition. So I'm going to give you some names. You stop me when you hear a better player.
Okay.
Okay, so first I have Zach LaVine.
No.
Charles Barkley.
Oh, gosh. No.
That's the right answer, Mo. That's the right answer. Vince Carter.
No.
Joel Embiid.
No.
Jaylen Brown.
No.
Allen Iverson.
Okay. Now this is a conversation. This is a conversation. Oh,
there
my
really
gosh.
is something here.
How many more names do you have?
These dudes' careers are so similar. Like
they are. No, absolutely.
No rings. They've gone to the finals. The scoring is there for both of these guys.
Yeah, but when AI went to the finals, he was the guy. He was the guy. Harden was not the guy.
James Harden was 1 game away from going to the finals.
He was, and I thought they should have won those games. I thought they should have. Yeah, they should have beat.
We've seen the graphics of those months where he 60 points, averaging 40 points, averaging a triple double. This is tough, though.
I'm going to take James Harden.
Oh, that's where it ends. That's where it ends. Ah! It's valid, though.
That's so tough, dude. But I look at his like 2-month stretch where he was literally averaging 40. It was
40 a triple double.
Like you have to give me a name.
40.
Would you take Wade over Harden?
100%.
Yeah.
I'm taking. Oh, that's so hard to do though. Like as a player, just purely the player. But
yeah,
young Wade is
06,
underrated.
06 Wade.
People don't talk about him enough.
06 Wade.
Year 3 Wade went into the playoffs averaging about 35. Like young Wade cold. People forget that man was dunking everything early on. Like most dunks by a person under 6'5". Pretty sure it's Dwayne Wade. There's no player that has more dunks than that man. Young Wade.
Bro was so good. He was so good. Like
underappreciated.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Like those, obviously no one's touching the top two spots at shooting guard. But when you're looking at a Mount Rushmore and those are the three names you're discussing. You're talking Allen Iverson, who was a scoring guard. He was not really a point. You've got James Harden, who also played a lot of point, but it's so strange. And then you've got Wade, and it's, oh man, just great players, all of them. So great.
For real. The shooting guard position's fun, man. It really is.
Well, in the spirit of talking about these older players, even the teams we've got right now, I'm curious, can you give me a couple of your favorite teams to watch from the last decade? What stands out to you?
I give the 2020-2021 weird team that I really like to watch was that Suns team in 2020-2021. An
Really?
incredibly fun team. Yes. Ayton was balling. Young Ayton was balling. Devin Booker had finally got the team he deserved. He had Chris Paul as a point guard. As much as Chris Paul's a pretty dirty player, but like I wanted to see Chris Paul in the finals one time. For how
Yeah.
terrible his career was from the start, with never doing anything with the Clippers because he just always ran into San Antonio. And then you had Mikal Bridges, you had Cam Johnson, you had Jay Crowder. Like that team was just so fun to me, and just the entire 2021 playoffs. Like that Clippers team was there, that Jazz team was there. So that's one of my picks. The 2016 Spurs, that team is underappreciated because of what the Warriors were doing that year. The,
Yeah.
the Spurs, I think, only lost either one or two home games that year, and
Was that the
they
Zaza year? No.
no. Yes, it was. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So this is the year. I believe they still LaMarcus Aldridge was there, Kawhi's there. So those two paired together, like it was just beautiful. I think they won 67 games,
They were
which was
good.
just overshadowed because 73-9, of course. But that 2015-2016 Spurs team, underappreciated because they had to run into the Warriors were there as well. So that's another one. Those Raptors years, like 2016 to 2018, where they just had to run into LeBron. There were some years where DeMar was hooping, Kyle Lowry was hooping.
You
They
had
had
Drake.
they had Bismack looking like one of the best defensive centers in the league.
Prime Drake
Yes.
as well.
Light-skinned Drake on the sideline.
Yes. That was a great time too. That really was. I don't know.
LeBron's first
Okay.
year with the Lakers, that's another one that's funny because you have
The
Lonzo
Lonzo
there,
Ball.
Brandon Ingram there with LeBron. That's a fun one too.
That one was hilarious. The
Mhm.
bubble I thought was hilarious. Rondo, I picture his kid drinking out of the bottle after they win the title. Just
Uh-huh.
Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee winning championships together as the 7-foot centers. Like that team was so, and the thing is they were so good before COVID. Like they were great before COVID.
Mhm. Best
That
team
team
in the
was fun to
league.
watch. I know this team wasn't in the last 10 years, but like I can't get I keep thinking about them. I loved Rudy Gay on the Memphis Grizzlies. I loved that Grizzlies team. That was an in the mud team with Gasol, Randolph, Rudy Gay. OJ Mayo was there back in the day.
Yes. Our
Mike
favorite shooting
Conley,
guard, OJ Mayo.
Tony
Yes.
Allen. Like that was a team that was just like you knew they couldn't beat the Lakers, but gosh, you watched that series and you just thought, man, if they could just like you just I love those guys. And
I
when
know
he
you're
got
big on
traded
Rudy
to
Gay.
when he got traded to Toronto, when Rudy got traded to Toronto and it was him and DeMar, I was like, these guys are just gonna break rims. I thought they were gonna be so much better.
You've always been big on Rudy Gay. Shout out. If Rudy Gay was ever going to be good, it was going to be because of Moses. That's I
Listen,
truly feel that way.
his prime 2K like ratings were like right when I became addicted to the game. Okay. And the hack was Rudy Gay was absolutely cracked in 2K, like 2K11 to like 2K15. He was a cheat code. But his trade value was low. So you could trade for him and give up like a first round pick and your six man, and you would get Rudy Gay. And so I would play shooting guard. He'd be my small forward. I'm playing as Minnesota. So I've got Cat, and it was like insane. Or like back when if you were playing 2K11 or 2K12, you knew that playing for the Timberwolves was like playing on hard mode or like insane mode because they were so awful. You're going to Pekovic and some of these guys that are just like nobody even knows.
I remember
Nobody knows how
Shved.
they made it to the league. Yes. And so I'd make one trade for Rudy, and we're both dropping. He's dropping like 30, and I'm dropping like 70 points, and it's just it was a blast, dude. Listen, I think I've talked about this before, but for any new listeners, you probably never heard this story before. I was so addicted to 2K when I was a kid. Like as soon as I got home, I wanted to play it. I was convinced in my mind playing this video game was going to make me better at basketball, and you can't convince me otherwise. You can't. But we moved my sophomore year. We moved twice that year. Shout out to mom and dad. We moved twice that year during my sophomore year. And there's plenty of stories in this that I'll have to share another time. But that basketball season, I had no friends because I literally moved 2 weeks before tryouts. And so I wanted to play 2K, but our mom had us on 20-minute turns. And you can't play a game of 2K in 20 minutes. You just can't. And so I would wake up in the night at like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. when I knew mom was not going to wake up. And I would go downstairs, I would turn on the PS4, and I would just pray that like the sound of a plane taking off would not wake up my parents because that thing was so loud. And like to turn on the TV was loud. We had like that huge rear projection TV. And I would play 2K for like 2 hours and then go back to bed at 4 and then wake up for school. It was just
I can confirm this because I caught him one time. I walked downstairs. I was sick or something, and I was trying to get to my parents' room. I was trying to get to our parents' room, and I saw the TV on downstairs. And I started walking down the stairs. I've never seen a console get turned off so quickly. I have never seen it before. And I asked him the next morning too. I said, Moses, what were you doing up? What were you, little Rhoman, asking Moses, what were you doing up? Moses said, what are you talking about? What happened?
So that was a dream.
He might still deny it to this day. I might have been dreaming according to Moses, but I'm pretty sure I saw it one time.
Oh, that was as much trouble as I was getting into when I was a kid, man. Like that was as much trouble as I was causing. Good night. Look, I want to close out the pod with a segment that I've been excited to talk about from the very beginning. And it's talking about who would be better in today's NBA. Larry Bird or Magic Johnson. I've got the feeling we do not agree on this. We rarely do, it feels like. You know the correct answer is Larry Bird. There is no world where it's not Larry Bird. Larry Bird was a absolute menace from the three-point line, could score from anywhere on the floor, elite defender. The only reason he didn't have a greater career was the back injuries late. We give him some modern medical staff that don't have him playing in Converse, and who knows, maybe that doesn't even happen. I believe Larry Bird, his game translates into every era better than just about any player that came into this league prior to the year 2000. We might just have to stop the argument there. It's Larry Bird.
Well, if you're transferring just this player himself, obviously I can't disagree with you. Players didn't have three balls then. Of course not. But Magic's game is going to translate to any form of basketball. Like, he was the entertainment in the 80s. Like,
he couldn't shoot the ball from the outside.
Moses, I won't need him to shoot the ball from the outside.
What are you talking about?
What are you need him to shoot? The dude will average 25 points per game without shooting anywhere out of 15 feet.
Okay.
There's a reason Magic Johnson has 3 MVPs and 5 championships.
What was the average height of NBA point guards in the 80s? Rhoman, do you have a guess?
Oh my goodness.
You have a guess?
Probably 6'4".
6'1", Rhoman. Point guards were 6'1".
Oh, you said average height of a
is 6'9". Okay, so yeah, the dude scored 25 points a game because he was 8 inches taller than his competition. Is he going to be 8 inches taller than Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? No. Is he going to be 8 inches taller than Luka? No. Is he going to be 8 inches taller than every point guard he plays in today's NBA? No, he's not. So he doesn't even get the size advantage. So you
he does get the size advantage still, though. He does. He's 6'9", 6'10". Like,
brother. But he's not getting
he's-
9. He's not getting 8 inches in difference between the guards he's going up against and him playing the point.
but they weren't matching him. You're acting like he was matching up against Isaiah Thomas every possession. He was not. They were putting their best defender on him. They weren't just putting the 6'1" point guards on this man. You couldn't do that. They weren't dumb in the 80s. That's not how it works.
I'm not saying they were stupid. That's not what I'm saying.
That's
What
kind
I'm
of what
saying.
you're.
Okay, but then who's the 6'1" guy guarding? Byron Scott?
The 2%. Yes, Byron Scott's not 6'9". He's not 6'10".
Come on, dude. Come on, man. What are we doing here?
His game is going to transfer. The man has 5 rings for a reason.
Bro,
His game is going to transfer.
You cannot play in today's league and not be able to shoot a ball. You can't.
Magic Johnson
You can't
would
play
do it.
guard. You can't play guard and not be able to shoot the 3. You can't. It doesn't work.
I can't disagree with you there. If you transfer the exact player that he is, maybe not. But I see. Okay, I can't even say Russell Westbrook because Russell Westbrook just barely got on a team.
It's Larry Bird. It's Larry Bird. It's Larry Bird.
Move him to today's NBA, he is the type of player that does make a difference. We're talking about Magic Johnson.
Okay. Do not confuse me saying that Larry Bird is a better player in today's NBA with me saying Magic would suck in the league. That's not the same, okay? Don't do that to me. You don't demonize me like that. That is rude. Magic Johnson absolutely would be a great player today. I just think Larry Bird would be better. That's it.
Okay. We switched up the argument a little bit. That's my bad. Bad. If we are just saying the player that they were back then, it's kind of hard to argue. Like it's the 3 ball. You're right. You're right on that side of it. But I think Magic is Magic for a reason. He's going to make it work. We have players who have deficiencies in today's game, and they make it work. I think Magic is going to make it work.
Listen, next time, just say you were right, and then just stop right there. Okay.
All right. Enough with you.
That's a great place to kind of end it if I were you. Anyways, guys, listen, thank you so much. That's it for season 3, episode 2 of the Swish List podcast. This was a fun one, man. Rhoman, send us off.
We are on episode 2. It has been one of the best openings to a season that we have seen in a while. The potential is insane. I just get happy thinking about what's going to happen over these next few months. And if you're as excited as we are, stay tuned in with us. We're going to be giving you all the updates. Follow us on all of our social medias. We are on all your favorite platforms. Let us know topics that you want us to talk about if you are interested. We want to talk about what you guys want to hear. So let us know. Swish List Podcast. We are on the come up. If you're not liking, if you're not subscribing, it's getting ridiculous. It's really getting ridiculous. This is season 3. Let's get on the hype train with us. The Swish List Podcast, season 3, episode 2. We are out.